very excited to say that I finished one of my sleeves and I have started the next sleeve. This is the other sleeve here. The pattern calls for decreases going down, but I did not do that because I wanted to leave it bulky and then a really tight, like, as you can see, it's actually hard for me to get my hand in. I'll probably have to undo my bind off and then do an elastic bind off, but I love the way it fits, and I can put this on. It just is a little tight to get my hand through, but I wanted it to be really, really tight around my wrist so that it would show the juxtaposition of the poofy sleeve, and it does that. I think it's beautiful. So yeah, one sleeve is done, and now I'm working on the other sleeve. Instead of the magic loop method, I am going to do I have circular needles, 16-inch, that actually fit perfectly around the diameter of the sleeve. And so we are just going to knit stockinette for a little bit and spend some time together. I hope you are having a beautiful day. I hope there's something that brought you joy. If you'd like to share what brought you joy today, I would love to hear it. I think I like the angle of the camera more like this. I think it's easier to see what I'm doing, hopefully. And see me go in and out of all the wrong places. I'm still using my super cute sweater stitch marker. Oh, it makes me so happy. I love the little things. I do have a little bit of a hand trimmer. You might notice that from time to time. It is benign, so do not worry about that. One thing about knitting sleeves is you have to keep turning your sweater around over and over, which isn't really a problem, but it's just something to be cognizant of. It's nice to have your yarn really off to the side so that when you're turning your sweater around, you don't accidentally get your yarn tangled up in it. I learned recently that you can be a master knitter. You can actually get a certification in knitting, and I am considering looking into this. I'm nowhere near master level. I have so much to learn when it comes to knitting, and I'm excited to learn. but we are just working on the second sleeve today. I think I could do better with my tension. I feel as though my stitches get really tight sometimes, and I'm not sure why. I always feel like I don't feel like I'm holding my yarn too tightly, but they get like stiff on the needle. So I use ChowGoo, and if anyone else uses ChowGoo, I definitely recommend not using the tips of your fingers to maneuver your needles, just because these are the pointiest knitting needles I have ever used. I don't know if you can see that, but they're much sharper than other needles I've used, and I'm starting to get like calluses and things like that, which I think is fine, but I'm, trying to be cognizant of causing damage to my nerves. But it's such a bad habit of mine. See, I continue to do it even though I just talked about it. I feel like my second sleeve is going much faster than the first. And just for a quick pause, I'll show what it looks like where I picked up stitches. So last time I spoke about the fact that I did knit front and back as opposed to make one left, make one right. And so I have these little bumps, which I think are adorable. Oh, see, my hand trimmer is really prominent right now. I'm not sure why. And then what I did, and I'd be interested in others' perspective on this, but I really tried to grab the yarn in as many places as possible in the armpit area so that I wouldn't have any holes. And I think it looks pretty fine. I wish, so this one is where I started the picking up stitches, so it's loose, so I have to weave in this in, so that's why that looks like that. But I have a little hole here, but that's nothing compared to what it would be if I hadn't gone along the edge here to pick up additional stitches. Let's see what my other sleeve looks like. These were all part of my yoke, so it was very easy to, for these stitches, it was very easy to pick those up because they were on the scrap yarn previously. And then this is where I went and just picked up random stitches kind of along the armpit area. These are off to the side. And then the pattern calls for casting on. For the size I made, it was 6 stitches in the armpit. So I cast those on using the backwards cast on method, I want to say. But I mean, that's the largest hole that I have, and I definitely don't think that's bad at all. And then these I picked up along the edge between the stitches that were on the scrap yarn and the 6 stitches that I picked up along the bottom here. So I tried to capture these. I lost my train of thought because my partner came downstairs and we were talking for a little bit. I hope you're feeling very relaxed right now. I hope you have a sense of calm. I hope that any stress that you had is melting away. I hope you feel present. I hope you're able to take deep breaths that nourish your soul. We're just knitting in the round. I'm trying to work on my tension, if in the case that that's the reason why my stitches get a little stuck on my needle from time to time. But just focusing on that, not worrying about anything else at the moment. It's nice to take deep breaths while knitting. It feels very meditative. I could probably do with a slightly smaller size circular needle. These are 16-inch. And it's not that I necessarily think I need a shorter cable, but I feel like I would do better with shorter tips. These are 5-inch tips, I want to say. Yes, I think they're 5-inch tips. I know some people who knit on minis. I think they're called shorties. And they are like 2 inches. And I just don't even know how you hold the needle. Maybe I'll try them. I'll try them for a video, I think. Maybe I'll pick up a set. If folks are interested in seeing what that looks like. I feel like the second sleeve goes faster than the first sleeve because the first sleeve you're just measuring the whole time. Every 3 rounds I feel like I would try it on and see how far it came, how much progress I made. Whereas with the second sleeve, all I have to do is compare it to the first sleeve and I know, whoop, where am I trying to move this? All I have to do is compare it with the first sleeve. As such, and I know how far away I am from binding off. I really like that I did the tapered decrease kind of drastic at the bottom as opposed to decreasing gradually throughout the entirety of the sleeve because I wanted a bulky sleeve. And I also wanted a very clear contrast. I wanted a really tight wrist. And all of these things came together beautifully. I made my own little pattern here for the cuff to keep that bulbous appearance. And I think it looks pretty good. I like the way that it fits. The only thing is I wish I did a stretchy bind off because the bind off is not stretchy and I'm nervous about that. I can get my hand in. I've tried on the sweater and I can put my hand in here. But I really have to like squeeze it in. So I'm going to do one less row of decreases on the other sleeve. And I am debating, I'm not sure, but I'm debating taking out this bind off and trying to do an elastic bind off. But I've never done that before. I'm not afraid of trying it. I would just have to go on YouTube, where I spend a lot of time anyways, and look at a tutorial for how to do it. And then we would figure it out. Yes, why do my stitches get so tight? So my channel is called Knits and Notes, right? And the idea around that is I enjoy knitting and I also enjoy journaling. And I recorded a video earlier today for the notes portion of my YouTube channel, and I should be posting that soon if I haven't already. But I'm a little nervous about it because with knitting, I feel like it's, of course you can be creative, but it's clear if you're doing something right for the most part in terms of the big items like the sleeves. If my sleeve covers my arm and I can put it on, I can say, okay, I did the sleeve correctly, even if I made some variations to the pattern or did things my own way a little bit. But journaling is a completely different type of creative outlet where it's such a blank slate that it feels a little intimidating. And at first I was worried that I wouldn't do it right, but I'm embracing my aesthetic, which is chaotic and unaesthetic, if that makes sense. It's very busy, it's loud. And I just want to accept that that's the way that I like to do things. And it's something I don't see on YouTube very often, if at all. I feel like a lot of the journaling content I see all looks the same to some extent. There's creativity, but the creativity looks similar in terms of how it's appealing to the eye of the viewer. And I'm not really trying to appeal to the eye of the viewer. I'm trying to appeal to my own eye and just sharing what my vision looks like with others. Not to say it's wrong to try to make content that appeals to people. I know that we're trying to reach a larger audience, so there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't think that's how I want to try to do things. I don't want to pressure myself to do things in a way that doesn't feel authentic to me, the way I process information or the way I enjoy things. My hands are so clammy. One moment. Okay, I washed my hands. I'm hoping that'll make them less clammy so that I can move a little bit faster the way that I'm used to. It's tricky to, in my opinion, move quickly with sleeves because you have to turn your work so often. I feel like I always have an excuse for why I'm not knitting quickly. I'm like, oh, I have to turn my work often. I have to change my hand placement. I'm doing ribbing. I'm using magic loop. I always have an excuse. Maybe I'm just not a fast knitter. That's okay. You know what I should have done, which I'll do in the future? Placed a stitch marker where I started the video so that I'm able to measure my progress by the end of the video. Then I can know how much I've gotten done with you all. Really warm. I have to open the window. Although it's pretty warm outside today, so I don't know that it'll necessarily help cool me down, but the fresh air would be nice. We are not in any rush. I have seen some speed knitting competitions, and I am so jealous of the sheer talent and skill and ability. I think it's phenomenal. Maybe I would do better with shorter tips. I just don't know how expensive they are. And I just bought this Chow-Gu set. And I would like to be able to try them before committing to buying an entire set of them. Maybe they sell just a size or two on Amazon. I can try that. I suppose I hold, well, with my left hand, I do hold quite a bit of the needle, but with my right hand, it's really just about 2.5, 3 inches. And that's the hand that I'm guiding everything with, so maybe I could make it work. Let's do another row or two and then call it for a little bit. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, but I am a little tired. maybe tired isn't the right word. I feel very relaxed. Yeah, see, the sleeve gets all twisted as you're knitting around. You know what I want to do a little bit? Switch to DPNs. So I often will switch back and forth between DPNs and circulars and magic loop and whatnot. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. I don't mean to. But yeah, I'll often kind of jump back and forth between knitting methods whenever I start to feel bored of what I've been doing. And I'm like, oh, I can just switch it up a little bit. I can just play around. That's what I love about knitting. It feels like playing around. I don't have to take it too seriously. I don't have to judge my work, judge my ability. I'm not being graded. I can just do something I enjoy and share it with others who hopefully enjoy it. That's what I'm doing. So I've been diagnosed with ADHD, and sometimes I am just like, yeah, stockinette, I love it. And other times I'm like, oh my goodness, I need a little variety in my stitches. I need to purl. I think knitting can be so mesmerizing sometimes. Nice deep breath. Okay, and let's do this last row in silence. I think I am going to choose to think about my intentions for the rest of the day. What I hope to achieve after this video. I'm also going to be thinking about what my hopes are for tomorrow, and I'm going to be sending you positive energy. Okay, we just came to the end of our row. I hope that you feel relaxed. I hope you feel rejuvenated, re-energized. I hope you feel positive energy, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Hopefully at that point I will have finished this sleeve, and I will just be showing you what the finished sweater looks like, but who knows what progress I'll make between now and then. Either way, I'm excited to show you what comes next, and I'll see you next time. Bye.